everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bwalia from Zambia and this is my garden adventure. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much for taking time to watch this video. For anybody that is returning for a second, third or fourth time, thank you so much. I appreciate your presence. For anybody that is joining us for the first time, thank you so much for joining us. Let me apologize in advance for my voice. It's going to sound a little groggy simply because I've been feeling a little under the weather lately, but I'm getting there. I'm definitely getting better. I just thought it would be a good time for me to be able to put out this content now, seeing as it would be very beneficial, especially for a new mom, a new plant mommy or plant daddy, especially in my country, because we are right in the thick of our winter months. And so because of that, I thought it would be a good idea for me to put out some content on how to winter-proof your plants, in case you might be wondering how to take care of your babies, especially that we are having a couple of some very cold days, especially during the night. We are getting some really cold nights, and you might be wondering how to protect your babies, especially if you're experiencing winter with your plant babies for the first time. So I'm going to give out five tips on how to winter-proof your plant babies. Tip number one, just like human babies, plants want to be warm. Not overly warm, but they want to have some sense of warmth. So the first and most important thing that you need to do is keep your plants in a warm area. If you have to cluster your plants together, like I have done with mine, you will have to put your plants in a space where they can be able to feed off each other's warmth, but also produce some humidity for themselves while in the process of being clustered together. So as you can see, my plants are clustered together, different textures and different types. This simply helps the plants to be able to retain not only warmth but also produce some humidity for themselves as they are clustered together. So this essentially will keep them warmer and will help them to survive the cold better. The second tip I'm going to share with you is for you to be able to change your watering routine by using lukewarm to warm water for your plants during winter. So this will help your plants to not get root shock by using cold water as you ordinarily would possibly during the growing season. During winter, obviously you have to change your routine by giving your plants some warm, lukewarm to warm water instead during their normal watering routine. And of course you're going to reduce on your watering in general, because ordinarily during the growing season you would water your plants more because they tend to dry out more faster, as opposed to during the winter when they sort of like go into hibernation and their growth rate slows down. So during the winter, obviously even your watering routine is going to change slightly because you are going to reduce on the numbers of times that you water your plants, especially for those that keep their plants indoors, as the rate at which the plants are going to be losing the water is going to be less than during summer. The third tip that I'm going to share with you is mulching. Okay, so now mulching is an age-old technique that gardeners have used for centuries, in which they are able to create a blanket of protection, some sort of an insulation for their plants in order to be able to keep their plants warmer during winter or during the winter months. So mulching will involve you getting specific materials that you will be able to use as a layer, a top layer for your plants, in order to be able to help them retain some heat during the winter. So for this you are going to need things like old twigs, some grass clippings, some dry leaves, and you will be, and possibly some pine bark chips. So these are the items that you might need, mixed together with possibly some sawdust, and then you create a layer over your plants. This is gonna help create some sort of an insulator or blanket, sort of like a layer of protection for your plants during winter, and this will help to protect your plants from the harsh weather of winter. And then of course there are those plants that you might need to move away generally from cold spaces. So there are those plants that might need to, for example, in my country we keep most of our plants outdoors, so we might need to move your plants inside, especially those that are potted or in containers. You will need to move them indoors into a warmer space. And so that is going to be tip number 4. You should be able to move your plants away from the colder spaces where you know that they might be exposed to the harsh cold winter nights, especially when the temperatures plummet or go down. So that will require you to be able to be proactive and move your plants away from such spaces and place them in a space where they're a little warmer. And last but not the least, tip number 5 is for you to be able to remove every dead and decaying leaf or stem that might be protruding from any of your plants, especially the leafy ones, or those that have spent flower blooms. That is extremely important, because for every unremoved spent flower bloom or spent leaf on any of your plants, that will be encouraging the more use of energy during a period when your plant essentially is supposed to be in hibernation. And because of that, it's extremely important, because it will help your plant to reserve or conserve its energy resources during a period when it is essentially supposed to be in hibernation, when its growth rate goes down. And so because of that, it will help your plant to survive the winter better. And so with these 5 tips, I hope that as a new plant parent, this is going to help you with your new plant journey, especially that it might be your first winter, or it might just be somebody that has been doing gardening for a while, but you essentially did not know how to protect your plants during winter. And so this information might come in handy for you, and I hope that it has helped you in one way or another. Thank you so much for watching. In case you haven't already subscribed, please kindly hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.